It's a beautiful gray Monday morning. How's it going?
I'm okay. It's been a weekend full of activities. I've been um, yeah. So I picked up an old acquaintance, a contact that I had, uh,
Hmm.
a gentleman that we used to visit 7 years ago. He has a farm um, in a how do you say naturreservat in English?
A natural reserve, you can
You
say.
say that?
Yeah,
All right,
yeah,
all
you
right.
can say, or a nature reserve, I think is
Nature
more
reserve,
common.
yeah.
Nature reserve.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
for those of you who follow us and get to know us a little better, you know that I live in the countryside while Max here is a city slicker,
I would
right?
say farm life is the new thug life.
Is it?
No, I
Is
don't
it?
know.
Perhaps I should get myself one of those Tupac tattoos, because he had thug life.
Farm life.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
say farm life. Yeah. All right. Well, you you know how I am, so
Goals.
it's yeah,
Goals.
yeah.
Um,
Mm.
yeah,
No,
I am a city slicker. It's
so
true.
right. So
Guilty.
we went over to EU. In Sweden, we often use the first two letters of double names as an abbreviation for some reason. I don't
Hmm.
know.
Hmm.
And EU is 80 plus now, but we got to know him when he was in his 70s, and he was actually, well, it's a long story, but he has a farm, uh, and he has sheep, he has goats, but now he has Dexter cows. Dexter cows are amazing. I'm going to show you a picture soon.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know.
And he has a llama.
What?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
can
yeah,
have llamas in Sweden?
yeah, 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 yeah.
Oh, wow.
So um, let me say if we can find let this right. So let's switch over to my screen. Okay, so
In
Dexter cattle. Dexter cattle. If you look at Wikipedia, this is the
yeah.
world's smallest cattle, kind of.
Okay.
That's what they
Okay.
say. But let's see some images instead because they are much cuter to look
Yeah.
at. Right. So
Oh.
they look like an ordinary cow, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But the thing is, if you look at this, if we go to Instagram and we go over to this one, right? Well, this is actually okay. So a spoiler. So this is Tadeus feeding the llama, right?
Is do they I know when I was down in Chile, they sometimes use llamas as like guard dogs
Yeah,
because they can
that's
kick
exactly.
and be quite protective.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going on here. So you
Oh,
had
that's so cool.
well, this is his third.
Hmm.
His name is Julius, and
Hmm.
the first two ones, if you, I think you will pick up the theme. The first two ones, they are dead now, was Asterix and Obelix.
Very nice.
Yeah, so this is Julius Caesar, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right. And so I mean, for a young kid like Thaddeus, getting to feed a llama is just simply amazing, right?
Yeah, that's
But
awesome.
if you look at the size
Oh,
of this this is a full-grown cow.
no way.
Yeah, it's
Huh.
amazing. It's amazing, right?
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah. And look, so this is Thaddeus, and he's 8 years old. He's 146 centimeters, something like that. And okay, there's a little perspective shift here, but I mean, if you look at the sheep and the cow, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you can put that into perspective, right?
Mind trip. Oh,
Yeah,
that's cool.
and
Great.
and that's so amazing that he has them. He cares for them. Again, he's 80 plus, and he's a true shepherd. He talks to them. You should see those animals when they hear his voice, because when we approached the space where they were at, they were nowhere to be seen, and he just
Hmm.
yelled a few times, and as soon as these animals hear his voice, they just come running. And the reason for this is, of course, because the only thing sheep and also cows think about is food, and they know that this is the sound of food basically. This is the guy that brings them something to eat. So that was truly amazing to see, to be honest, right? Oh, that's a
Mm.
different. But this is the guy, right? So
Yeah,
um,
nice.
and he's very nice. He's an ex former teacher. He's been retired for a decade or two now, but he's great with kids, and he was fantastic with with Thaddeus, and so
Yeah, yeah. Living the dream.
yeah,
That's cool.
that's really
Um,
nice. So that was my
no, it's better. I went through I got some nerd points this weekend because I spent a bit of it coding. And one thing I did, which maybe I can show you, I went through a Vue tutorial.
Mm-hmm.
Let me spin it up.
Right.
I went through a Vue tutorial that let's get a little Chrome window in here. That looks like this. Uh,
Oh,
it's
local weather.
um,
Right.
it's basically a weather app. I mean, I can't take credit for the fact that this looks nice. This is a tutorial that's up on the Net Ninja.
Mm-hmm.
So props to them. Credit where credit is due. But it basically has it's got a little modal. It's got this functionality where uh, you you search for a city. It's pinging
Oh.
the Open Weather API and see you get this. This isn't formatting correctly, but anyway, you can add it to local storage, and then if you go back, you know, it
Mm.
stores the cities, and it's a really neat little project, similar to what we make our students do,
Mm-hmm.
but different in some ways. First of all, it's not in React.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a Vue application scaffolded using Vite, which is it's made by the same team that made Vue or
Mm-hmm.
team. I mean, there's kind of a leading developer behind it, and it's a build tool. You can see it uses Tailwind because there are all these config files. I know how
Uh-huh.
you feel about that, but it's
Yeah.
okay.
You know,
It's
it
not
is
so
what it
bad.
is. No.
And I think the main differences, and I've been messing around using Vite as a build tool for React,
Mm-hmm.
and it's great. It's great. It's an alternative to create React app.
Mm-hmm.
It comes with hot module reloading. It comes with everything you would like to really quick development server spinning up.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few differences. You need to do a little bit of configuration, but all in all, it's quite nice.
But
Um,
how do they solve the city name? Are you using the Google APIs, Google Search API, or what? Like,
Check it out. So we basically, well, let me walk through it real quick. So you have your main JS, which in Vue loads up the create app from Vue.
mm-hmm.
So in the main one here, you know, Vue divides things into templates, scripts, and styles.
Mm-hmm.
The style here is just for some nice fade in, fade out transitions,
Yep.
which and here we're importing site navigation as something called router view.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell is that? Well, look at this. Like we have our site navigation on top.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing strange there. And then this became quite ugly because I needed to add the transition.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little hard to read this, but
Okay, but it's basically you tell it that there's a route.
yeah, and that whatever component this v slot attribute grabs is the one that you're supposed to render in here, okay?
Okay.
So this slot points to whatever
This.
you put
Yeah.
in this
Whatever you.
format,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
So router view, clearly the router points to some kind of view. The router lives in this nice index.js
Uh-huh.
file. You set up your routes. We looked at this earlier. It's all hunky-dory, right?
Yeah.
And then this does a little bit of custom rendering for the title. You see here it says
Yeah. Uh-huh.
home.
Uh-huh.
If I go into Stockholm, it's going to say Stockholm,
Yeah.
Sweden. Okay, so the router puts you in either home view or city view. We'll start in home view, and this file looks like shit, but let's sorry, pardon my French. So we have a template, we have scripts, we're using Tailwind for style, so we don't have any style here.
Mm-hmm.
And this is, I think, what you're interested in, which is how do we get, and you already see, look at these imports. Ref is views
Uh-huh.
use state, basically,
Uh-huh.
right? Axios is Axios. Here we're grabbing some components. You saw those skeletons being rendered
Yep.
while the data was loaded. There's actually some artificial slowdown there to
Yeah.
add
Just do. Yeah.
some UX experience, but
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
What we're interested in is like the preview city, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
where is the actual No, it's the get search result function, right? We're hitting Mapbox
Oh, so you're
first.
using Mapbox for that. Okay. All
Yep,
right.
we're hitting Mapbox. And one thing to note here, which is interesting, is look, we can't grab process.env
No.
in invite. This is true for React as well. So you need to do an import.meta.env. That's just a thing to learn. And I mean, it doesn't. Again, folks, your API keys are going to get exposed if you put them on the front end. There's nothing to be done about that. So I have a .env file here just so that GitHub doesn't send me angry emails, but
Yep.
it's not really a secure thing, just so you know.
Mm.
But yeah, so we store the city, and you can see we also store the latitude and longitude, and then we hard code this preview into true. That just means they haven't added it to their local storage yet. And we push that into something called the router, which is a use router object, which means that when we click on previewing a city, we're pushed into the city view, which has wonderfully little logic in it, but that's only because we have this async city view. Now, one thing that's really nice with Vue is that it comes with this built-in fallback template object. You can probably guess what this does. Of course, it's not hard to do this in React, but
No, but I see
but
what
this,
you're saying. Yeah.
yeah, this took like 2 seconds to set up, and you just give it a fallback. I mean, I guess it looks a little weird, but it's okay. So we go into this async city view. Now that's an actual component, right? So the async city view has the call to get the actual weather data.
Okay.
Which, this probably looks similar to, and here's the hard-coded flicker delay, but got a little bit of magic for working with time zones, and we have a function to remove the city. So you probably will
but
also...
here in Access, I see that you string interpolate all the parameters. You could use the params.
Yeah, and that's the route query latitude. So you can do route.params if you set it as params in your router, same as React Router. Or if you decide to store this in the URL, you can use the query. So let's go back here, have a look at the URL. Let me search for Bourgeois. Click on that, and you see this. I've decided to store the latitude and longitude inside as query params.
Yeah. That's
and
perfect.
preview is true. And then when I add it, you see the preview is no longer true. And so it doesn't show it at all, which is nicer. Shouldn't say preview false, right?
Yeah.
And go back here. And I'm curious now, if I click on Bourgeois, yeah, I still get the...
How about you search for Standum where I live and see if that even pops up?
Stannum.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, buddy.
Oh, okay, Gråbo.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's good. Okay. So Standum is a village, so it's okay. All right.
Yeah,
cool.
It was a really great single-page application. I mean, with the new React, you don't have to import React into each component. Functional components I still find oddly beautiful, but the Vue, it packs a punch.
Yeah, it does. It's when I look at the code, it's okay. So of course you can export the Axios calls to some sort of services and so on. But my biggest, it's like you have this, and you have do you always have to have the? I see that you have the imports, the script on the bottom.
You can put the scripts on top of templates, and if you use a different scaffolder, I think they actually do, so it looks more like React.
Okay.
So this can live wherever you want on the .view, nota bene, .view component. But here is one thing that like really pops off. Like if you have, these v-ifs are pretty intuitive, and you can do some logic here. You can do .length, you can do little JavaScript things, but the for loop,
and you have VLs and stuff. Okay, all right, I got you.
Yeah, and so right, you have this vif, and then VLs, which certain things like because this list index, this list item
Mm,
has a v4.
mm,
Um, I had to wrap this in something called a template.
mm.
It couldn't just live out like on the
Okay, okay,
same
I got it.
level in the hierarchy, which I don't know. We can discuss.
It's a
But
different way to solving some interesting issues, of course. So it's
yeah, and what I liked, well, with the ref, I don't know if I like or dislike this, but with the ref, if you want to change anything to, let's see, do we have here? We're actually using ref. Like we say, search query is an empty string ref. This is null. To change this, instead of using a setter and a getter, you call dot value,
hmm
right? Like dot value is the getter, but as you can see, it's also the setter.
hmm okay,
So again, I
I
don't
got you.
I don't really have an opinion on that. It's just a difference that I noted.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
This is cool. I mean, I think that we should definitely get inspired by this and expand our open weather API or open
Oh,
weather
yeah.
challenge a little bit because it looked beautiful and it's
The functionality is cool, and when you go in here, there's even a little, you can remove them.
mm,
Sorry, Boros, you're gone.
mm.
Brings you back here. Oh, look, a bug. Haha. That dropped everything.
Oh, and then it says, oh, it dropped it cleared the entire
Yeah,
local
yeah, yeah.
storage.
No, look,
Okay.
it cleared my entire local
Oh,
storage, so I
yeah.
would have to do a little debugging here.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, because you just want to search for that string. Oh, yeah. So it's gonna be a bit of a problem because it's probably stringified.
It
Um,
is stringified, and
you should add them
remove
as one
city,
key.
saved cities. So what it does when we click this remove city, it grabs the cities from saved cities.
Yeah,
It then filters. Oh, I think we need to.
yeah.
It's using
Basically,
UID to grab the
yeah,
IDs.
but
So
yeah, you have to you parse that. So city. Okay, and then you right. So there's something wrong. So you put a debugger there.
if see if I had done this in a TDD way, this would be really fun and easy to debug. Now it's kind of like, I got to put a million debuggers in here and
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That
test it
was
manually.
my.
I have no patience for that.
You reminded me. How about tests?
So I didn't, I followed it along a tutorial. I didn't
Okay.
write any tests for
All
this.
right.
To set up, to set up testing in so this is a little React app that I made last night, that not using create React app but using Vite. And you see I also added Tailwind, and I have Cypress. So what you need to do in the case of Cypress with Vite is to just define this development server,
Okay.
which comes, I guess, with like a Vite bundler.
Mm.
So nothing too weird there. And then in my package JSON, you see the command that I have pretty much mimics what we do usually, except for instead of React start scripts or React scripts start, we just call Vite.
Mm.
And I haven't noticed. It is a little bit faster. It is a
Mm.
little bit faster spinning up the old development server, but Cypress is still kind of a hog,
Mm.
which is fine.
Yeah.
But all in all, the I think you would like this React Vite build tool because app.jsx is called app.jsx by default.
Oh.
Right? I saw that and I was like, Thomas would approve. Thomas would approve, and this is good.
Yeah.
This is good stuff. Um,
Awesome.
yeah. So that's the rub.
Mm. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Having
And
a good time, just messing around.
I think it's great to explore new frameworks. Vue is interesting, and there's a lot of demand for Vue development. So this
Hmm.
is definitely something that we can look into, and different ways to scaffold new React apps is also I've been thinking a lot about what you said recently about Create React app not being a professional standard. Can't really see why not, to be honest, because it's very simple. But again, I love simplicity, but I do also understand that there are certain hoops that people want to jump over as soon as possible, and there are better scaffolders than the CRA. So it's
It's just lighter,
yeah,
like it's just fewer things in there. I think is the reason people gravitate towards it. Like the example that I've heard is, you and I have used customized CRA
mm,
to not have to eject anything, right?
yeah, not
Um,
to have to eject from the yeah, exactly right.
and because if you eject, and I took your advice, I tried to not eject ever except once to see, and it was horrible.
Yeah,
But the point is that if you eject an app, right, like now you are updating all those
yeah,
dependencies forever, and if you are maintaining, or you have shot your maintainer in the foot,
yeah,
um, and with Vite, maybe again, this we would have to actually test this to claim it, but I think the idea at least is that you're supposed to be able to customize it a little bit
yeah.
more easily. Yeah,
You know how it is.
I don't know. I
I'm
mean, I
an old
should
guy,
mess
so
around with.
I'm always careful with new stuff. My brain only can only take as much. So
Said the guy who is just like building an API in Django. Which what a great segue.
yeah, that's a great segue. Let's move over to what we came here for.
Yeah, let me
Um,
close these. So,
I have some major issues with my computer as well, ways. So I'm gonna rely
oh, I
on
mean,
your
I'm on the hook.
goodwill. Um,
Um,
uh, but it's cool. I should be able to survive this stream. Right. So could we? So where do we stand? I mean, we have one API endpoint. We have actually three because we have
yeah,
the
but I
groups and
think
then
the
users, right? Which is not
the
necessary.
lowest hanging fruit is to be good RESTful API builders, which is our goal for this API,
Mm.
and um, wrap the response from the open endpoint in the correct way.
Yeah.
Because right now we have some magic going on the front end that like is hacky and we don't want,
Yeah.
right? Um, so I think if at the end of this stream we manage to serialize the response in the way that we want,
Right.
and I suspect in like a Django way, there's going to be some like setting that is going to do this
Yeah.
very easily,
Yeah.
and we don't know what it is, so
Yeah.
you get to
Yeah.
see us struggle.
Yeah. But
um,
let's start with taking a look at the RESTful standard, right?
yeah,
So
excellent idea.
so I'm just gonna put up this REST identify is a resource name as key, right? Because so what we are looking for, all right, REST resource naming guide.
Sounds good.
Right. So first of all, of course, we have to understand what a resource is, and a resource is basically anything that we want to it's an object that we want to describe somehow, and then do rest. The restful way is that we just send off the representation of a specific resource at any given point. So rest is actually an abbreviation for representational state transfer. So
Hmm.
there's like a in our case a project have a specific state in the database or in the storage layer in some way, and that's what we want to represent on the client. That's what we want to show off, right? And so
Yeah.
one of the standards that are, I don't know if they actually describe this in this document. I just pulled it up, but Okay, they don't actually. So let me just get. Let me just. How can I do this? I can do this. Right, I'm here. Let me just cd and then out. Right. So what we want to, the way we want to represent um, our project is this way. We want to return an object, and we want to include this key that is named projects, and then we have an array of the projects, right?
Yeah.
So if this were to be users, for instance, then this key would be called users. If there were dogs, they would be called dogs, right? So we want to name this we want to use this resource name because it corresponds to how it is stored and used on the backend application,
Yeah.
right? So the actual name of this class is project on or actually with a capital P, right? In the Django application, but the database table is called projects, and that's what we use in this response. However, let's see what they say about singletons.
Right.
Because I've always wondered about this.
Yeah.
Right. For example, customers is a collection resource, right? It's right. And yeah. Okay. So this is interesting because what we in principle what we're saying we are always kind of returning a singleton in a way, even though
In a way, yeah.
In this case this contains multiple projects, right? But it is a resource because that's a resource for the client to use to display those multiple projects. But if it's a singleton, so we can call this a collection resource if it's an index, like it's a multiple, yeah, right? But if it's it's just one customer, or in this case, in our case, a project, then we use a singular format here, which sparks me to check.
So you basically you return an object with a key that's, in the case of a collection, set to an array, and in a singleton you return an object with a key that has an object inside of it with the data about.
Yeah. And here we use, which is exactly what we've done, right? We use a singular format here, right? So you say project instead. All right.
This is the standard.
So this is the standard. This is what we want to achieve today. And then there is a lot of other things said about the the URLs and how you deal with that, which it brings clarity to everything, and it's really good. In my opinion, the best way to structure your APIs, because it will, it enhances predictability. It's a better way to deal with this altogether. I'm going to send this to folks in our chat, actually.
Good stuff.
I think it's good if we do that. So if anyone wants to follow along, let's see, say no. There we go. Right. Well, I thought that would show up, but it didn't. Why not? Oh, there it is. So sorry about that. Yeah, but anyway, so this is what we want to do today, because in Django, if we take a look at the way this is responding, and let's how do I just do manage pi, right? No,
manage pi run server. You're already in your environment, which reminds me, I should.
What should I do?
Spin. Dot slash. You're not getting manage pi.
No, dot slash. Sorry.
Run server.
Run server. Right. Run.
Yeah.
Server. Right.
And that should spin up on
8,000, right? So
did
localhost
you
8,000, right? And if we just take a look at and then projects, of course, right?
mm-hmm.
Projects, and this is RESTful. Oh, whoa!
Bow. Ouch.
API Pro. What? Wow!
Wait, you got some kind of warning when you ran the command in your terminal. I'm gonna just scroll up a bit
We
and
have
see if,
oh
or is
no
it, there it is.
migrations.
Oh, you need to migrate.
Oh, but all right.
All right, so try first.manage py migrate.
That was weird. But then I probably alter project options. Really?
Oh, you got the okays.
Yeah.
Okay, so that looks promising.
Yeah.
Huh.
Right. But
Don't know what to tell you.
so I'm going. Yeah. No, neither do I. So I'm just gonna run a shell here, and then I'm just gonna say from what is it? Import project from what is it? API dot.
It's API dot models, maybe.
Dot models.
Try that. No.
What?
Is it from API models import project?
Yeah. You never learn this.
No, but you know, we figure it out as we go along. That's okay.
Yeah. There we go.
Okay,
We just
so
got Build a Grade just complains that we start too late. But
sorry.
that's US, right? That's US. Okay. Project.
US, it's like what, 4 a.m.?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna say, Bill,
Hawaii.
you're
Yeah, Hawaii.
probably
Now I remember. Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Yeah.
Oh,
Aloha. So
hello, brother.
what time is it?
Yeah, it's late.
That must be minus 9 hours from us, right? I guess.
Yeah.
Hawaii. Yeah.
World Time Buddy is my favorite website to not have to think about these things.
So do you remember? Do I have to pass in an object or just do title equals foo and then description equals bar?
You know, I was in JavaScript land all weekend, so not the right person to ask.
Objects. Sorry, mea culpa. Yeah, that's so now I should be able to reload this. No, I can't reload this because I have to start the server. Sorry, exit.
Yeah, but then you will lose.
No, I won't. I just persisted it locally.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, of course.
Let's see. Right, we have foobar.
Yeah.
And if we look at the JSON, this is the problem, right? Because this one returns, doesn't wrap this into in a RESTful way with a resource identified by key name.
Yeah, that's the issue.
10 p.m., but I'm old. Yeah, well, all this.
We're old too. I feel you.
Age is just a number.
Yeah, maybe for you, but for the rest of us mere mortals, it comes at a price.
It comes with a price here too.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyhow, so I need to Google this, right? So Django serializer resource.
I wonder if there is something in the, because we're using a RESTful framework like add-on to Django, if in their docs there is something like that, because we can't. Oh yeah, you are on their docs. Never mind. I'll just be quiet.
Slug field tracks serializer slug tracks
Is it specifying nested serialization?
Yeah.
It's like
relations. We're not into relations yet.
No, not yet. We are. It's a model serializer, right? So you're.
No, that's not it. So let's just. Right. Sorry.
Yeah.
API
I don't.
guide, requests, schemas, exceptions, status, settings, serializers. There we go. Right. So we have a comment. Right.
Yeah. There's something in there about specifying nested serializations.
Where is that?
A little bit further down, it is one of the topics in that side menu under model serializer.
Inspector and
Uh,
specify field to include with nested.
can that be it? I mean, I don't know why they would call it that, but um,
Depth one model account doesn't use primary keys for relationships, but they can also use nested. No, that's not really.
oh
Yeah,
no, yeah, you're right.
read only fields. Extra key path or write only create. No, that's not it. Relational fields, customizing field mapping. Model series is primary relate field. Right. Custom list serializers. Customizing list serializer behavior. Custom serializer. Books group, return books, object book. Yeah. You see, one good thing would have been that if they show this, for instance, this code example,
hmm
they could also say this produces this, and then
Yeah,
give us a JSON on it.
yeah.
We have a question from Builder Gray. Have you two heard about Yay Universe?
No.
She's a wonderful singer. I usually listen to here at night. All right,
Okay,
Yay Universe.
will
No, we
do.
have not.
Um,
We might be interested in a link if there is something. Or are you doing a promotion? Then we charge you money for it. No, I'm kidding.
ha 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 ha. Yeah, right.
Yeah, we should.
Um,
No, I haven't. At så är det YEJ Universe. Har inte hört talas om det. Unfortunately. Right. Base read only. The don't serialize. Operating serialize inheritance. Dynamically modifying field. Customizing default fields. Let's have a look at advanced. Convert. No. All right, so let's just see.
I mean, we could maybe hard code this. No, we can't hard code it
No.
because it's ugh.
Dynamically resource for multi-Django resource. That is a resource name add a hoc method. No. Resources typed in view customer's top level Django resource name. Adds API resource name. The unique identifier entity deal links. No, this is not like Django. Oh. Okay. Here's the Django Rest Framework. Json standard. Json API standard. Json API, read the docs. Right, let's have a look. API usage, getting started. Django Rest Framework, Json API. So Json API is a standard. Installation. Well, is that a Django Rest Framework? Okay. See, there's a package called Json Rest Framework -Json API, right? But
It can't. I mean,
well, it could. Swagger, but open API, but it should follow that standard. For the scheme of use open. Treatments at text, right? API. I can render. Let's have a look at the usage. But they should give us examples. Do you understand? Offset query limit page on page. Okay, so you can paginate with this, which is also a good thing, but that's not today's filter set to serializers. Hey, here you see, this is it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
This is it.
Resource name.
Yeah. Let's yeah. Let's not install any dependencies. let's let's open this. We should probably write a test for this now, but you know, let's just try some stuff. So how about project project serializer, right? How about I just use this resource name here?
Yeah. I
Right. You know what? Let's just try that. That would be the lowest hanging fruit, wouldn't it?
yeah.
I am also skeptic, but what if this? No, that didn't take any action altogether. See? No. It just ignored this. You understand? So if I remove ID, yeah. So this takes action. So this didn't do anything for us at this point, right? But how about we actually right? So how about we actually install this sucker? I mean, I can do this on my, where am I? Am I on a branch or what am I? Course issues? No, I'm not on a branch. So git stash, and we merged everything.
I believe we have.
Right. So git checkout development, and
Yeah.
then git pull upstream development. Yay universe, right? Yay universe. We're gonna check it out. Anyhow, do I have to run migrations again?
I don't think so, but it doesn't hurt.
No migrations. Okay, so let me just git checkout serializer. Oops.
Dash B.
Experiments. Let's just experiment with this a little bit. Okay, so let me just install this Django. So Json Api, Json field, Json for optional packages. I don't want to do any optional packages. I just want to do this. Let's see. Successfully uninstalled. What? Oh, okay. Json API 5. All right, and then so we need to add this to installed apps. I'm not gonna install any packages at this point, you know.
No, I think that's.
Oops. And then we just go to, where is that? That's on. No, it's in settings, right? Settings, right? Django Rest Auth token, right? So I can just add it here. Json API, okay. And then running the example of, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do this. And now I just want to use this. And so I just basically, you know, just to pick the lowest hanging fruit here, I'm just going to say resource name equal projects, and see if this does anything for us. Who knows? We're gonna run the server. Okay, so it didn't complain about anything. I know that it runs some checks initially, you know, to see if all the apps are installed.
Mm-hmm.
and then we're just gonna, and it didn't do shit. Right, so that wasn't the lowest hanging fruit. Models project serial company meta for no serializers. Setting the resource name, allowed method get example resource name model maximum JSON API meta. Could that be something?
I found someone who basically, they have a tutorial up, and their solution was to use 2 serializers, which seems a bit strange, but maybe that is it.
So JSON API format times, right? So you can that's a, but that's a different. Yeah, let's JSON resource name.
So you would have a project serializer, and then we would add a projects serializer. Do you understand?
Yeah.
It doesn't solve the problem though once we go into singleton world, but
This setting, you may manually set the resource name property on view, serials, or model specific to the type key on your output. In this case, setting the resource name property for your models must include the property inside the JSON API meta on the class model. It is automatically set for you as the plural or the view model name set for the resource, not subclass, right? Rest frame view set model view set. So class generic API view resource, right? If you set the resource name property and the object to false, the data will be returned without modifications. Example, on the model resource name on the model. Okay, so on the model. All right, so let's just get rid of this, and then we go here, meta verbose name project verbose. Right, so and he says name model chart. What the fuck? Yeah. Okay, here it is. All right, I got you. And then
you got it?
yeah.
'Cause
Well, I think I do. Class. Right. So I basically, I think I need to do this, and then just say projects. But this could, yeah. Right. This is on a combination of model serial or view in the same hierarchy. The name will be resolved for view, serializer, model, view. Okay. The resource name will be over. Yeah, but you should be able to get this into. Right. Let's have a look what this one says. I don't know if I have to run some. No, that was not it. Do I have to restart? Do I have to run migrations? Oh, do I have to create migration? What was it?
It's make migrations, I think it was.
No changes detected. No, so that's not. No, okay. So is it because we didn't? But this is the solution, right? I mean, rather than creating multiple serializers, but resource name usage. If you set the resource on a combination of model, serializer, and view in the same hierarchy, the name will be resolved as following. I don't really. You see, this because this is what we want. Do you understand? This is what we want. Yeah. Apart from these attributes, okay, so it's not really that because okay, so this JSON API. Let's see. Okay, all right. Right. Okay. So JSON API is actually a bit different. But let's see, page REST framework, filter, default meta REST, pagination. Right. Let's have a look. I think we need to install the Open API.
I found.
Yeah.
I found a Stack Overflow with precisely our problem, like identical.
Okay.
And the person, so check it out. They have the problem is that they're getting this response and they want it wrapped in objects, right?
Yeah.
This is where we are. And they say you can customize the response on view level. They're talking about the view, which is super annoying. Just wrap the serializer's data into outer dictionary. So they do we could do a projects list for us, and we could say, apparently there's something in the generics called list API view. And there we can do the query set, and we can do the serializer class, which would then just be project serializer. Then we would define the list, returning, and see, he's hard coded this there. But
yeah. That's we already have the so because we have the project view set here. So what would you say? So
let me see. Yeah.
Query set. And you are using query set self to get and serializer object query set.
Right. Okay. Okay. I wasn't looking in the views. That's the ticket, huh?
And return response object, and it says return. So we need to say. So we need to say return. And then, what was it? It was. Response. No, we need to set the list, right? No, sorry. So we need to define a list, def list, and then
that takes itself and something called request.
Right.
Okay, I can just. Do you want me to Slack this to you?
Yeah. So I'm gonna switch to my.
There is your Slack. There we go.
Right. So we define the list, and it will say self and request, right? And then a colon like this, and then we say query set again, and that would be equal self get query set like a function, and then we say serializer equals. All right, and here is object serializer object. No, we don't have that. No, that's object.
Sorry. It's going to be project serializer for us, yeah.
Serializer project.
Which takes then the query set as an argument, and the second argument of many equals true. And that's true with a capital T exactly.
And then we just return.
Yeah, we return response with a capital R.
But we need to include response from somewhere. We don't have it available to us. And then we just response with projects, and then colon serializer dot data. Right, but we will get an error on this. Where is response coming from? What did he say anything about that?
No, and I'm looking at the rest of the question. So response, he has it here. So presumably he has imported it somewhere.
Yeah.
Uh, let me see.
Response. What could that be from? Oh, I guess you're looking at something. Response.
Here, like he's just saying he's showing his actual model for object
Yeah.
where it's got some code and item last updated. Then it shows the serializer, which is just grabbing code and item.
Yeah.
And then in view, this is before the answer. So he has this list, query set serializer, and returns the response serializer.data. It's possible that because he's using generics.listAPI view, which we're not, that's what's throwing an error. Not sure.
Right.
But the only change really is that the response is getting this objects wrap.
I have no idea. Yeah. The only thing is that from Django HTTP we can import HTTP response, something like this, but not response per se. Can we? Okay, so let's just try Django RF response request and responses. Response, here it is, creating a response, right, signature, right. How the fuck do we use it? And so it's from, unlike regular response, so we have to import it from import view sets, permissions, REST framework. Can I just...
Oh. If you okay, hang on. I found response. So in the docs for Django REST frameworks, if you go to the section about views instead, and it's talking about these class-based views, you can see that they grabbed response from REST framework.response.
Okay, so let's try that. Let's
yeah,
from REST underscore framework, right?
Framework.response. Yeah.
Fuck.
From REST. Yeah, it is. Dot response. Import response as a class of capital R.
Oh, there we go. All right. So
Yeah.
this should.
Okay.
All right. So let's fire this up. All right. So it's fired up. There we go.
Ha. Okay, so super counterintuitive for me to think of views as the place where we shape the dimensionality, if you will, of the response JSON. But if I try to push my Rails and JavaScript experience aside, okay, sure. If that's what you decided, this is how the client views the data.
Yeah.
Right.
So
but
we're gonna remove this, and we're gonna I never exported this to requirements, so I should be good on that. You know, the installation I made. So if we just if I do git status settings, so git let's say git diff, right, project that's okay. Okay, so I need to remove that from settings.
Oh yeah, which of course lives in app.py. Go down, yeah,
there you
down
go.
there.
And what else? No, that's it. This is okay.
Oof.
Yeah, this is okay, right? Yeah, right. I can remove this also on the project serializer. Okay, so Right. This sucks big time. It does. It's in my opinion, it does.
Knowledge is the lightest burden, but this feels a bit burdensome. Yeah. It feels a bit burdensome. Yeah, I don't know.
Right. So I'm just gonna push this up to myself for now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna create a PR. We need a ticket for this also, of course, right? But
Yeah.
we need to run our tests to see
I think
if we're failing.
we might even have a ticket for this somewhere. There we go. API response there. Yes, we do have a ticket for it.
What is it called?
It's called API response with data wrapped in correct resource. I'm going to say that that's a chore.
Right. Right, so I'm just gonna create this, but I'm just gonna run some tests here.
Okay, I'm going to convert this to an issue in the Art Nouveau API.
So I checked out the Yay universe. It's a young girl playing a ukulele.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Let me just put some sound on this.
I'm not going to get.
Oh, she's talking on the phone at the moment. So.
DMCA striked? No.
Yeah. Probably not gonna dive too deep into her.
No. Phrasing. But yeah.
It is what it is.
We'll give it a listen.
All checks have failed here, right?
That's exciting.
Yeah, I mean test. Right, failed, errors 1, right, because
right,
because this is right. So we probably need to change this test projects in there, right?
Indeed, we do.
Data, and then what? Dot project is right. Response dot data. It needs to be like this. Projects. I think this. Yeah, the first one in that. Yeah, so this should probably pass. Yeah. But now the test looks like shit instead.
Yes, it does.
So can we say? Can we say something at least like project equals response data this, and then we just say project. You know.
Yeah. I mean, if we can't do that, then
yeah, we could.
That would really suck.
That is right. It's updates test to reflect new JSON structure. There we go. Right. Am I impressed? I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna level with you. I am not super impressed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Neither do I. You know, I don't know. These settings should be done in the serializer, in my opinion. You know, or
yeah,
or on a higher level in the in the
in the
app.
setting. Yeah.
You know. Yeah. I don't know.
There must be some reasoning why they decided to do it this way. Is it that? Is it? Is it more? I don't know. If the serializer is what determines which fields you're getting from a particular resource, uh, does that make it more secure?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I
I don't
don't
know.
think so. Well, but at least we now what? I think. I mean, this. You know. I think we did what we came here for,
We
right?
did, and the serializer page, I mean, the file looks still very clean. Of course, it comes at the cost of an additional use file, but uh,
Yeah.
that's life.
Yeah.
Files
Yeah.
changed too.
Yeah. So I think you can. You know. I think we did. I mean, we did update the
Yeah,
test and we did wrap it, and so we're good to go. Which means that if we merge this, we should update the client, I guess. But we don't have to do that on stream, I assume, because it's just a
yeah, it's probably not.
yeah.
Uh,
That was a hack anyway. So yeah,
all right, this is reviewed. Shall I go ahead and squash
I
merge?
think so. I think you should good to
So
go with this.
okay, that's great. Confirm squash and merge. And I don't think I can delete this branch because
No,
it's
I
coming
will.
from you, so
Yeah.
you can do that.
Yes. Yes.
And what I can also do, which I always forget to do, was well, first move this to review, and then in review, I'm going to say this is done. I'm going to close the issue,
You're the
close this.
you're the administrative genius here. You know.
I'm just like it's the scrum sparkles that take hold and just like this releases dopamine when you move something into the done. You get a little dopamine rush. You
I
you need
got you.
that.
I got you.
Um, but so since you said it, I'll put the item here, and we'll just say client. Um, well, we'll say chore, and we'll just say fix client handling of um, data received from API. And we can do that off screen because that's not very interesting. But we said it. We did what we set out to do. Also,
I think we did. And we did that within an hour with some small talk in the beginning. So
hey, yeah.
I definitely see this as a win, if not an absolute win.
Mm-hmm.
But I also feel that for building APIs, I think I'm gonna stick to Rails.
Yeah.
Am I being obnoxious now?
No, I mean, I just like if this is the developer experience for Django,
Mm.
and there's like a whirlwind of exciting things happening in Node.js and JavaScript land,
Mm.
and
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe I'm just like a hype beast. I like the hype, like, but I'm super inclined to reassess. But then again, I still have the
But
voice
you
that's
see,
like, well, all we've done is open up a single endpoint. Like
yeah.
it could get good. It could get good.
But so my thoughts are like this, and I might be totally wrong here, but there's a lot of hype about Python, right? People are talking about
But
Python is great for AI
yeah,
and so on. But come on, we're not dealing with AI. We're building a simple web API in this
the
case,
right
right?
tool for the right job. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my point.
Yeah. We're like going to IKEA in a Ferrari.
I think so. I think we are, right, and because and also just a note about the hype about the artificial intelligence or all
That
the other
machine
stuff.
learning
Yeah,
really is.
and it's like people talk and talk and talk, but to be honest, I mean, you work with this a little bit, right? With some teaching them a model to do something in terms of
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I've done some
right.
stuff like
And I mean, this is now easy stuff. This is not a common knowledge in any way, shape, or form. You have to, you know, uh, I mean, there's a lot of things you need to know about a lot of things in order to be able to work with these kind of applications.
yeah, yeah.
And sometimes when and this might be I know my previous experience talking or my infinite wisdom because of my age or whatever. Uh, but it's like when there's a lot of hype, it's usually a broad mass of a lot of people talking about it, right?
Yeah.
That's what basically hype is, right? But then I think since we are talking about a very small, very narrow, very complicated field of working with different big data sets and data models and teach AI and so on, right? So how many of these people that are creating the hype, the wave of the hype, can actually work with this within this field? Do you understand? Or is the hype just a hype? Like, oh, I've heard that Django, or no, sorry, that Python is great at this, but they don't really know for a fact.
I think, yeah, I think there's a big knowledge gap there, and the sense that I'm getting is that even when you know how to use Python libraries like scikit-learn to, and even when you know how to adjust model fit, if you are training a machine learning model and you pick the algorithm and you would load in your data and you run a regression, even if you've studied linear algebra,
Mm.
you do not actually walk out knowing exactly why your model is giving you certain predictions
Mm.
with certain inputs. I mean, that's the whole point, right?
Mm.
So there is an inherent kind of black box layer that unless you're a PhD, linear algebraist,
Mm.
and there's a problem there. But I shudder to think of like big companies that maybe are more prone to like sprinkle some machine learning AI magic on our product, and we're going to do great. Like there is some poor engineer there who is sitting integrating the product between like the data scientists and the web
Mm.
developers. Oh,
Yeah,
poor
but
them.
yeah, but so
It's gotta
exactly
suck.
because as you said, right tool for the right job. I mean, yeah, you want to do some machine learning, and you see, you even use link that I couldn't even frame this in a good language, linear algebra, and I don't even know, and if I know jack shit about this. I'm a web developer. That's what I am, right? Or I build information systems. That's what I do,
Yeah.
and but even if I would like to use some machine learning or artificial intelligence, if I would be a
Yeah.
wannabe in that field,
Hmm.
and I would build, you and I could combine our efforts and build some interesting software that achieves certain things, whatever it is, right?
Hmm.
But why would I have to use Python to build my delivery system, right?
You do not.
I do not, right?
No, you do not. I would be really curious to peek at a Django API that has an ML module that is actively running and providing like I think what most people do is that they train their little algorithm
Mm.
and then they load up the program that it spits out
Mm.
onto a Django instance, uh, similar to what I did with the cosine similarity thing for feet get together in
Mm.
Rails, and
Mm.
you basically, you know, after that it's the same as anything. It has an input and an output.
Mm.
It could just be like I mean, that is very simple.
Yeah.
But the training of it is generally done in these, Python notebooks that are shared between that are not run in the cloud. They're run on a machine somewhere because it's going to cost too much money otherwise. I'm sure, prove me wrong, because it would be really interesting to see what it looks like, if there are any benefits. But I've been told by people like, no, you just have, if you need it actively, you have a server somewhere running with like a miniature
Mm.
Python app. Yeah, I'm curious if those instances have a Django layer, or if they have a fast API layer, or if there's something else. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. So for instance, I think we used Clarify at some point, didn't we?
Yeah, yeah, you did.
Right. Which is a very. Do I have to log in? Can I log in here?
Yeah, we built a little, or you built, I should say, you built a little uh, like a chat bot filter thing of seeing
Yeah.
if people were using expletives, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
They're onto you. Watch out.
yeah. Completely. What do you want from me? Job title. Boss. Can I say boss?
Bossmang.
Bossman.
That's
Bossman.
okay.
AMAG, right? Wasn't that
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
From The Expanse.
Why can't I? Why can't I complete my profile? What the fuck? Select your country. Okay. No, I'm not in
Oh,
Afghanistan. I am in Sweden.
yeah.
Where is Sweden?
I love that UX.
Yeah. Fantastic. Complete your profile. All right. Anyhow.
Yeah. I always wonder, there are what, 193? Well, there are more, but there are 193 member states of the UN, and every time you have a country selector,
Yeah.
do we web developers really expect people to want to scroll down each time? I don't know.
I don't even understand. They changed something.
They probably got bought
Switch
by
to
someone.
legacy model. Where is this? Oh, come on, give me a break. Yeah, I built an app called Stasiator at some point. It's Stasi is the East German.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember. Yeah. Well, I
So
don't remember, but
Stasiator was an attempt to. This guy came to me and I built a prototype and I refused to give it to him later because he wanted to build an app where people would observe a crime occurring.
Oh God.
And then they will snap a photo of that
No.
crime,
Oh
and
no.
we would use EXIF data
Oh no.
to geotag this image, and then we
Oh,
would use a Clarify model to basically assess what's going on. If somebody's beating something up, or and then based on that response, we will notify proper authorities. If there was a fire, that would be the fire department, and if there was a violent crime, it would be the
oh no.
police
Oh
or
no.
ambulance, right? And depending on certain roles where you are at, how you geocoded it and what's on the screen, you would use different contact numbers. You would build this pan-European application. I said, look, I can do a prototype, and I did that over a weekend. And then I showed it to him, and he was all excited. And I said, "But this is as far as I'm going to take it. I'm not going to build this because it's that's why I called it a Stasiator." And he actually asked me, "What is a Stasiator?" And I said, "That's a way for the general public to become informants to the authorities. I'm not going to do
Yeah.
this, So
Ah,
so yeah, so that was that. But anyhow, these guys, this is a portal for the they have different models to recognize images and so on, and this is awesome. But let's
yeah.
just take a look. Just I don't know if we're gonna prove a point or something.
But I
if we
mean,
go
they
if
must have. They must have. They are updating. Their updating of their models is not. And by models, I don't mean RESTful API models. I mean their machine learning models. They must be updated manually.
I don't know.
You know,
I
because they're trained. Like if you're going to train that API on like doing computer vision, you buy data sets with descriptors. You buy massive, like millions of pictures of flowers that all have the word flower,
mm,
and then you buy millions of pictures of violent crime and you tag that with violent crime, and then you train your model on those,
yeah. So,
like,
but they have a training setting somewhere, that you
oh
can
yeah,
use, or you allow them to use your images that you upload to them to train their models, but
okay,
I'm not
okay,
100%. Anyway, I wanted to prove a point that their delivery system doesn't necessarily have to be built in Python, but I couldn't because they are actually using Django uh,
interesting,
to build their deliveries. I mean the web
okay, all
site,
right.
right? So
So
let's
I guess a little bit of homework for me at least is to like, I don't know, just find an example of like a simple Django app with
yeah,
some scikit-learn model running, you
right.
know, and piping in, be it images
Mm.
or text or what have you,
But
sound.
they had a much better interface or different interface before, and I just wanted, you remember there was
Yeah,
this,
I used it. I used it.
yeah, there was this, you could just upload an image and get a response,
Yeah,
but
you didn't even have to upload it. You
no.
just
So how
slap
about
a
if I
URL
just
in
go
there.
over here, API keys, when I want to do that, view an explorer, what is that? Explorer. Yeah, we try to look at registration numbers,
Oh wow.
registration plates. We created our own model for that.
Huh.
You could read some plates and model is trained and ready, which I don't really understand. But this was back in the days. You see, this 2017, right? So it was really,
Okay.
really long
Yeah,
time ago.
that's probably changed a bit.
Yeah. Anyway, it is what it
Hmm.
is, brother. Django sucks. No, it doesn't. Oh God, you shouldn't say that,
Django
Thomas.
sucks for us because it's not really it's not the right tool for the job.
I don't feel it is, but it will
And
be.
and the tests look like shit.
And the test looks like shit. They do. They truly do. I mean, they are unreadable. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah, and their output is terrible. Like give us some descriptions, I mean, I
Yeah.
guess we shouldn't whine. We should be writing a good testing package for it, but I don't want to do that.
No.
I got APIs to build.
Exactly. And as I think I've said it before, and I think you agreed that if we were to build this in Node.js or in, God forbid, Rails, we would already
Hmm.
be done and over and done with
I
APIs.
know, and we would have the most beautiful test suite of them all. But I guess like take note, aspiring Django developers, if you want to start like an open source project that people might actually like write a test framework with a little bit of color in the output, a little bit of formatting, actual descriptions based on what people put into the describe blocks. Like
Yeah.
you will do something valuable for that community.
Yeah.
Or if there already is one, let us know.
There is probably one. There is
Yeah.
probably one. But if you wanna start an open source project with a lot of contributors, then you use Django because it's hyped up, and you do not do tests because
Yeah.
usually people don't like to do tests because it's requires a lot of work. They just want to hack away, and off you go.
Yeah.
Right?
And remember, the person who makes the most money in a gold rush is the guy selling the shovel.
All right. I think that will do it for us today.
I think so. Yeah.
I think tomorrow we're gonna try to tackle the authentication issues.
Yeah, that actually should be good. I think we have to stick
Oh
with Django to see the
no, we will
authentication
stick with
magic
Django. We will not
because
give up. Yeah.
that's yeah, that is that's part of the hype, right? Like
Mm.
authentication baked in and super secure, and we'll see how easy it is to truly set up.
Super secure.
Super secure, blazingly secure.
Right. We have a request for some more training with our friends at Polestar,
Right on.
Polystar. I mean, so yeah.
Right on. Yeah. Cypress
Uh,
10.
so that's gonna be fun. More Cypress. Boom. All right,
Yeah, I'm feeling good.
folks. I love you.
Yeah.
Subscribe. You know, if you're new to the channel and you want to learn more about what the hell we're doing.
What are we doing? Yeah.
What are we doing? I don't know.
Yeah. Follow along. It'll be
Follow
great.
along. Yeah. Okie dokie.